Hey everyone, I thought it was time for me to make an updated binders and sleeves videos for card collectors, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. And last time I started with sleeves, this time I will start with binders. So just as I did last time, different collectors need different things, right? If you spend tens of thousands of dollars on cards like I do, you want more premium things to hold those cards because it's a small portion of the money you spend. If you spend $100, you don't want to spend $80 on a binder, right? And so I'll start with my budget choice for binders. Let me zoom out a bit. You can see my laptop, but it is what it is. And this is a Chinese company called FabMaker. And something I should put out before I get into it. I'm not affiliated, paid, I'm not sponsored by any of the products that I'm showing in this video. If you want to support the channel, I have a TCG Player affiliate link, I have an eBay affiliate link, and I have an Amazon affiliate link. Clicking those links before making purchases doesn't matter if it's the products I show, doesn't matter if you buy a watch. That all supports the channel. I get a small percentage, and it costs nothing extra for you to do that. So if you want to support, do that. But these are honest opinions from a collector who's been collecting for a long time and also has spent a lot of money on the cards that I collect. So the FabMaker 360 on Amazon at the time of me buying this, it was $16.99. On Amazon, prices can, go increase, decrease, but it's around $17. This is made by a Chinese company. I don't know what it is. Chinese companies, oftentimes they're known for making lower quality products. And in this case, this is my budget option, so it's not a high quality product, but it's something that gets the job done and it's not too expensive. $17 gets you a nice zippered binder. The zipper I haven't had any problems with, and so zippered binders are typically the way I like to go, because it keeps dust and such out of getting into your card binder and into the sleeves, into the pockets, things like that. So it keeps things clean. Also, the strap, sometimes over time, it can make like an indent in the binder itself. It just adds additional pressure, and you don't have the zipper to keep all the dust out. So I preferred zippered binders. This is, I forgot to mention, the FabMaker 360. It's a 9-pocket binder. They have other versions that are different prices, but I like this specific one. One nice thing is that it doesn't just come in black, it comes in a variety of different binder colors. So if you're trying to coordinate different collections and you want different colors, you can get, red, you can get green, you can get blue, you can get pink, you can get purple, orange, all these things. And the exterior looks quite nice. Why it's not a premium binder comes down to just the materials they use. They're just not as nice. You can see that this arrived like it, where it has this indent. I think this is actually a factory error. It's just not a premium product, but it has a nice exterior. It provides good protection. It's not as sturdy as more premium products. The plastic is all right. One of the keys for premium binders is that the plastic of the actual pockets is typically not as good. So in the case of the FabMaker 360, this plastic is pretty thin. It's not particularly tight. It allows you to put a bunch of cards into a single pocket, but it's going to be more translucent, and less transparent. Also, it's easier to scratch, it's easier to stretch, and will cause, you can see already that there's little, markings, gunk on the external parts of the pockets of this binder. So inside, the binder is reasonably clear when you have cards in there. It fits both standard size card games like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, as well as Japanese size card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cardfight Vanguard, I believe, is also Japanese sized. But you can see that it displays the cards quite nicely. If we go a little closer, you can see that there are still some wrinkles from the binder pocket itself. But overall, I think that it is quite nice. And for collections that aren't super expensive, this is typically what I house them in. If I'm spending $200 on a collection, doesn't make sense for me to spend too much on the supplies to hold it into. So you'll see that I typically skip some pages in my binder. You can see that I only put cards on one side. This is often because these zippered binders start to bulge. I'd say 99% of binders, even though they supposedly expect you to put cards on both sides and to fill up every page, they can't hold it properly. It will start to sort of move the spine out. I think they typically are expecting, or when they test it without cards that are sleeved, but you should always sleeve your cards. So I would just say that I wouldn't use every page, and so even though it should theoretically house 360 cards, I would not use all 360 spaces. So that's just my opinion. But the FabMaker 360, I think it's well worth its money, and if you're looking for a budget option, this is the way that I would go. Chinese products are often thought of as extremely cheap and poorly made. In the case of this, I think it's not a premium binder, but it's also not too bad. And if you're looking for a budget option, this is the way I'd go. For the premium binders, there are two types. This is an American company called Top Deck, and this is my choice for a non-ringed binder. I do like ringed binders, and I'll get into my choice for a ringed binder, but this is the Top Deck. Excuse me. It houses, I forget how many cards, but it's 9-pocket, made of high quality materials. This is more rigid than the FabMaker. And importantly, the quality of the plastic sheets is much higher. It's more transparent. This is the highest clarity of any binder sheet I've ever seen. So it's very, very nice. And if you're displaying your cards, you want to see it. The price of this binder is $45. You can find it on Amazon. I think that it also is on eBay. But it's where I typically go with cards that have a lot of texture. I think it's best suited because of how clear the binder pages are. Overall, I don't have many complaints about it. It's just all around a pretty solid binder. It's just more expensive than the FabMaker, though it is better in basically, every way. The FabMaker is solid in every category. Just think of the Top Deck binder as being a little bit better, higher quality materials, and clearer. So if you're willing to spend a bit more, I would spend more on this thing, but only do it if your collection is of the value where spending that extra, $30 or so is worth it. So very nice. It's American made, which means that it's always in stock in America. I'm American, as you can probably guess from the accents, and so this is typically a problem when we go to the next binder I'll show, that because it's not made, it's made in Europe, it's harder to get your hands on. But the Top Deck is very nice and always available, and I would recommend it. Something I might have not mentioned, but I will try to link everything in the description below. Next up, we have the best ringed binder. This is the Dragon Shield Cordex, I believe. And you have to pay for binder sheets separately. I would make sure to get the clear sheets, not the ones that are like frosted, and it makes them a bit more translucent. Actually, I think I have both sheet types inside. I will say originally this was like the best binder, and I had nothing bad to say about it. Now I would say they added this clear sheet, which for some people I think is a bonus. I don't really like it all that much. I don't know what to do with it, but I suppose if you have a sheet, explaining, or a checklist for your collection, or, oversized cards, I suppose you could put them there. Now, you want to get these clear sheets. The thing about Dragon Shield is basically it's always high quality and it's always expensive. The binder itself, I think, typically retails for $30 or so, and the sheets are going to retail for, I think, close to $30 as well. So you're looking at around $60 for the full package. You want to get these clear ones. I can put a card with texture inside of it so you can see this card has a nice texture pattern to it. If I put it wrong side, inside of the clear sheets, you can see that there is some difficulty in seeing the card, but you can still see the texture through the card sheet. It's especially better if you use larger Dragon Shield sleeves that press against the plastic a bit more, and it makes it a little bit easier to see the card inside as well, but I'll talk more about sleeves later. So make sure to get the clear ones. There are other types, like here's some of the frosted sleeves. You'll be able to see that the sparkles are not as significant. It's harder to see the card in these frosted sheets. See, it kind of just takes away all the texture and visibility of the card, so I don't like them. I would not recommend those sheets. So overall, I like the Dragon Shield the most, especially as a ringed option. You'll notice that it's a D trap, which means that you aren't going to get any pressure as long as you stay on this side of the binder, and so you can't damage cards. All the time you hear, binders destroy cards, they damage them, etc. That's only if you have an O-ring, which means that you have this curved shape on both sides of the trap. And if you're an adult or you have a kid that is, understands how to take care of their cards, you're not going to damage anything, especially with this D-trap. So that's my recommendation for sort of the highest end binder you can get. But there are 3 choices that I think are all pretty solid. And the Dragon Shield sturdy, lasts a long time, quite nice. Now, in terms of sleeves, if you have a Japanese size card, I would go with, for my budget option, these Konami sleeves. They have a ton of different artworks to choose from on the back. I like the sort of black backing so that you can see the card quite nicely. They're pretty clear and transparent, which is nice. I can't speak to how well they shuffle and are useful for play, but as a collector, I think that these are quite solid and very, very cheap. So I like these a lot for Japanese size card games. If I get a Pokemon card, which I have right here, here's a nice Hisuian Typhlosion. You'll see that the Pokemon card is larger than the sleeve itself, so you can't use these for Pokemon cards. But if you have Pokemon cards, there are other standard size card sleeves that I think are pretty decent for... excuse me, sorry, my throat is giving out, but are pretty decent for the standard size. I typically go with penny sleeves if I'm not using this other more premium option. These are very cheap and very, very transparent. Now, the reason I don't go with them for Japanese sized cards, these are usually Ultra Pro or some, basically any company that makes these clear soft sleeves has a pretty similar product. But you can see that with a Japanese sized card, it can move around inside of the card sleeve, which I don't like, and so I typically don't use them for Japanese sized cards. But they're very cheap, and if you're using standard sized cards and collecting them, I think they're a pretty decent option. So for premium card sleeves, there is one major option. It's Dragon Shield, and I typically will double sleeve, where I have a Japanese sized inner sleeve. I put the card in upside down, so you can see that the actual entrance point is up top here. So I put the card upside down into that sleeve, and then put that right side up into a standard size sleeve. So this standard size sleeve fits Pokemon cards, and so you can't do the double sleeving trick if you're using a standard size card, but you can easily fit a standard size card into these Dragon Shields. Looks quite nice, fits pretty well. So these are really, really nice card sleeves. They're thick, they're transparent, so they show the card quite nicely, and I believe they're also quite nice for playing as well. They shuffle well, they feel nice. The one thing I would say is that they're so thick that if you're not using a Dragon Shield binder, be careful about double sleeving, because it will just take up a ton of space and the binder plastic might not be able to handle it. So this color I think is matte blue or night blue, something like that. I would recommend using some sort of neutral color, but you choose whatever you like. These are a bit more expensive. the range of prices varies quite a bit depending on the sales and where you buy them from, but it'll be on stream or on screen, excuse me. So everything will be in the description. Click those links, read reviews besides mine, but hopefully you found that informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.